Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel with another installment of Revolutions. You know the drill. The records that I've been spinning, enjoying, vibing to. You will not hear such ridiculous terms as grell or vinyl records on this channel. Um, why do people call them vinyl records all the time? Aren't they just records? Um, Have I missed something? I know you've got to call them vinyl records because that makes you a real collector. I forgot. Um, sometimes I'm going to show you CDs too and records and just music. To me, it is just music, nothing else. So without further ado, here are some albums that I've been playing this week and enjoying. Some of them are new because I went to a record fair with my friend Amos a couple of weeks ago. So some of them will be new, and some of them I've just revisited. Right, I'm going to start with. In what mood am I in today? I'm going to start with an album that I played a couple of times in the past week, and I got this from the record fair that I went to a couple of weeks ago. Shostakovich Cello Concerto Number 2. It was a really cheap get. I mean, number one, I'm a sucker for cello concertos. My all-time favorite piece, classical piece, is the Dvorak. I call him Dvorak. I don't know what is the correct pronunciation. Nobody knows. I'm not Czech, so fuck off. Hungarian, Czech. So. I was playing this record a couple of times, and it's just a beautiful, sublime piece of. It's very cinematic, very grand, very. Oh gosh, Chant du Ménestrel for cello and orchestra from 1976, recorded 1976, with the mighty Seiji Ozawa conducting. What more do you need to know? What more do you need to know? It's a grand piece of. Okay. Couple of 4AD revisits. Because I love 4AD and I'm going to do a Gimme 10 on 4AD eventually because I fucking love 4AD. This, a beautiful little EP by a little known band called In Camera. Kind of a post-punk. I would say that's what describes them best. Post-punk. A little bit industrial. Band from I think they were an English band. It's very early for AD. It's called Four Songs, and indeed is Four Songs. It's one of their two EPs. They only released two EPs, I think, and that was it. And then disappeared. It's got a very lovely, abrasive guitar sound. It's not too far away from bands like Wire and. Killing Joke, Gang of Four-ish, I love this. This is great. This is from 1980, I'd say 82 or 83 or something. Very early on, I don't know. Again, you can look it up yourself. And in a sort of better known kind of fashion, I also played or revisited Victoria Land by the Cocteau Twins. I played it a couple of times. This is kind of the transitional Cocteau Twins between where they were really going into the more ethereal kind of sound before they hit like albums like Treasure, which is their masterpiece, undoubtedly. That and Heaven or Las Vegas, which are they're on a par. But this this is still a sort of like acoustic quality to it rather than being fully fledged kind of drum machine and that sort of sounds. It's a beautiful record from back to front. It's from 1988, 89 or something like that, around that, or 86 maybe. You see, I'm useless. You can look it up again. I bought this very cheaply at the record fair, Incantations, and I bought this because I was listening to the album years podcast with Stephen Wilson, Team Bonus, and they were talking about this record. And I must admit, this record, you know, it was off my radar. I mean, I've got, I like Almadorn, and I like Hedges Ridge, and I like Tubular Bells, obviously. But this record, I sort of never ventured it. It was really cheap. It's a double album. Suffers somewhat from being a little bit too long. That's the only problem. It's a lovely ambient, atmospheric album. It's got moments where it's even a little bit krautrock-esque. Very progressive, very new agey, very progressive album. It should be a bit shorter, but I think if you find this cheap, I would highly recommend this record. And again, he plays everything, but there's Pierre Morland from Gong who plays on this, and he plays, I think, the Mini Moog or something like that, or some form of keyboards. Fuck do I know? I don't know. I'm going to stay in the ambient realm, and I revisited Laurie Spiegel's The Expanding Universe, which is a masterpiece of, again, new agey, spacey ambient. Everybody should own this record, really. I mean, if you like music, I mean, it's a very, non-committal claim to make in a way. It's a bit of a cop-out from me, isn't it? Everybody should, no, not everybody. If you like electronic music, if you like ambient music, if you want to sink your teeth into ambient music, this would be a really great starting point. If you like Brian Eno, if you like Harold Budd, if you like that kind of sound, then this is perfect. And she is just so delicate. She plays the Buchla synth, which is like, it's a sort of rival to the Moog. And everything is so layered and organic, and it just takes you up to the spheres, Here is a lesser known record which I absolutely love. It's Michel Turtle. I don't know if it's Michal Turtle. Phantoms of Dreamland on Music from Memory. Music from Memory is a label that I adore, absolutely. They're a label from the Netherlands, I think. And they release all sorts of really interesting, obscure little, morsels. And this was originally released quite early on, probably in the 1980s. And they're just little abstract ambient pieces. Very Eno-esque indeed, again. What can I say about this? It's very, it's got a bit of a tribal ambient quality, very sort of John Hassel-esque as well as being bright Eno-esque. Just take a sample of the Phantoms of Dreamland. I think some music is difficult to describe. It's just atmospheric. It's very contemplative. Very, opens you to a sort of meditation when you listen to it. Here is a record that I bought a couple of weeks ago. Kind of a blind buy, I will say, because it's true. I bought this. I went to a record fair, as I said, and I went to a store with my mate, and this record was on the wall. And it looked really cool, really interesting. There were several copies of it. It's brand new. This is from 2022. It's Tarot Plain, who is an ambient artist from I think he lives in Baltimore in the US. And this is his 8th release. It's called The Ectochrome Dawn. It's sublime guitar ambience, very, again, just drony, atmospheric. I think Haldon comes to mind a little bit when I listen to this, and things like Robert Fripp, definitely. It's very, there's a very Frippian quality about this. If Fripp made albums with someone like, I don't know, Finesse, or perhaps Tim Hacker. So Tim Hacker meets Robert Fripp kind of record. It's beautiful. There's some, like the second side is amazing. It's beautiful. Sorry, I'm going slowly, but since I'm talking about ambience, and I've been delving deep in the past couple of weeks into my David Sylvian collection, notably the CDs. Dead Bees on what's this called? Dead Bees on the Cake, isn't it? Dead Bees on the Cake. So I mean, I think David Sylvian is a musical hero of mine. I love him, and so Dead Bees on the Cake, it's essential. The man can't do any wrong. So this is beautiful. This collaboration, David Sylvian and Olga Tsukai, I played a couple of times. This is very atmospheric, and the two long pieces, Plight and Premonition, and nothing really much happens. They're very sort of like, soothing and, meditative kind of pieces, but I really, really like this. Olga Tsukai from Cannes, obviously. The amazing compilation. I'm gonna block the bottom because there's some part nudity and I don't want to get blocked. This is Sleepwalkers compilation, which is filled with sensational tracks, some of which are collaborations, but I very highly recommend that you take a listen to this compilation because it's just it's a sublime snapshot of his career up to that point. I was playing the partly live album, which is not completely live, Oil on Canvas. Some of it is recorded live, some of it is in the studio. It's a 5-star record from 1983. That's kind of like after they sort of disbanded after Tin Drum. And the magnificent Rain Tree Crow, and that's probably my pick of the lot, is the Rain Tree Crow album. All this album is just, it's divine. It is completely and utterly transfixing, this album, especially Pocketful of Change, which is the 5th track on this, if you want a good sample. That's basically Japan. That's the album that they made after Japan. They sort of reformed for this project. A shout out to my friends Mark and John, Dr. Rhythm, who inspired me to put this back on the turntable. Sam Gendel and Sam Wilkes, I think they're fans as well. This is again magnificent ambience. I mean, it just does what it says on the tin. Saxophone and bass guitar, amazing. Just really soothing music. Yeah, it's, I don't know what to say. It's a bit jazzy, but it's mostly ambient. And since I'm talking about Mark and John, they also made me revisit Gears by Johnny Hammond, which they were showing in a video. I love Gears. It's a fantastic record. It's one of the greatest jazz funk records that I have and know. And it features Julian Priester on trombone, Hadley Kellyman on tenor sax, Michael White on violin, the Mizell brothers. I mean, Harvey Mason is on drums. I mean, it's a who's who, this album. It slaps really hard. Okay. This is a record that I picked up recently, but it's a release from 2021. Digital Africa, which is a local Melbourne act. I think in Melbourne, or they're Australia anyway. And they do a sort of fusion of electronic and sort of ethnic sounds. And this is their EP, Gnawa and Remixes. So you got a very Gnawa, which is, if you don't know, traditional Moroccan music, mostly from Marrakesh, I think. If you know bands like Nas Ariwan, Gnawa is just very percussive, somewhat devotional Moroccan music, and so they do a rendition of that kind of sound, but with beats. It's definitely an electronic music record. It's beautiful. So take a listen to this. It's interesting. Um, a bit of funk here. There's some funk for you. Um, I recently got a copy of it was actually the same dig the other week. I've never owned Parade before, and I think that it's a big omission in my Prince collection. Um, so, I mean, everybody knows Kiss, but this is a soundtrack for a movie called Under the Cherry Moon, which I've not seen, but don't hold it against me. The album is 5 star. It's a sensational, Minneapolis funk record. It's from start to finish. If you've got it, revisit it urgently. It's amazing. 1986, right? I'll try to keep under 20 minutes if I can, because I know people don't like to watch long videos and I ramble. This was a kind of a blind buy-ish, again at the one of the records I picked past couple of weeks. Minoru Fushimi, Thanatos of Funk, and I'd seen this reissue in the past, and but it's just more the hype sticker which kind of like attracted me to it. Yes, I stick hype stickers on. People must be screaming at their screen, unsubscribing wildly. What are you doing, man? No, I do that because I don't care. Because I don't fetishize vinyl, people. That's why. This is Killer Electro Funk from 1985 Japan. I mean, it says it's pretty much what it is. It's very, electro funk is you got this kind of like, Rocket Herbie Hancock kind of vibe on this. Very, very sort of in your face, kind of like early hip hop, electro funk hip hop, but without the lyrics. 2 days ago I decided to visit Soft Machine 4. I don't know why. It was just I picked it from my shelf and yeah, okay, why not? Lovely record. This is the last record with Robert Wyatt before he had his accident, and then became a solo artist. No, it's just I love Soft Machine 4. I think even more than third, really, because it's more succinct. It's better. The recording is way better. Soft Machine third is awful. Sounds muddy as shit. And okay, played Freddie Hubbard's Skydive, awesome CTI record. If you must own a few CTIs, this is not a bad one to own. I mean, everybody bags the shit of CTI, and I just disagree wildly. I think CTI is a very, very good label, and people say, it's just jazz snobs, fucking jazz snobs, fuck them. I'm just really rude today, but it's true though. I mean, I love all sorts of music, and I just find it disparaging that people knock CTI as being like this kind of Muzak label, which is not. I mean, look at the players, for goodness sake. Look at this lineup. That's not Muzak at all in any way, shape, or form. And there's a lot of great CTIs that people should listen to, and that's one of them, Skydive. Couple more. Here's a record I picked at the record fair the other day. Kenny Cox and the Contemporary Jazz Quintet on Blue Note. It's the third Kenny Cox, or the second or third, from 1969. It's a lovely soul jazz, bebop kind of vibe there on this, with Ron Brooks on bass. I mean, the band is they're not really household names, but it's just a jolly little title. And the last one I'm going to show you before I get to 20 minutes, perfect, is a Japanese reissue on BBE. Masao Nakajima Quartet, fantastic, amazing. poise bop kind of Japanese jam. Beautiful. Okay, I'll stop here. 20 minutes. Take care, everyone. Don't get offended by any of my ramblings. It's normal. I'm old. Take care.